Hello everyone, it's Brian. I've come down with this a cold circulating through our house, so if I have to take a break in this video, if there's a pause, it's because I need to sneeze or something like that. But today I'm going to do a CD tag. I saw a couple of these circulating around. I'm going to do the one that was created by Costas. Lego Piety, I probably pronounced that wrong. It's a relatively new channel to me, which I subscribed to a little while ago, and he has 20 questions. So I'm going to do those, which is a pretty good idea because I don't actually show a lot of CDs, so it's about time. However, I'll start off on a bit of a downer because the first question I can't answer. The first one is show a 2022 new release or reissue that you bought on CD. I didn't buy any CDs that were new in 2022. In fact, I don't think I bought a brand new CD in probably 9.5 or 10 years. I have bought CDs primarily from thrift shops, but I haven't bought a new one. So that's interesting. So number one, sorry, I'm out. Number two, show the last CD you bought. And again, this came from a thrift shop. It was like $1 or $2, and that is Warren Zevon's The Wind from 2003. The vinyl on this one is hard to find, so I picked this up because it's something I never had. Sadly, it was his last studio recording. There's the tracks. This has a lot of guest stars on it. If you're not familiar, it has. I'll just read a few names: Ry Cooder, Don Henley, Billy Bob Thornton, Dwight Yoakam, Springsteen, Jim Keltner, Tommy Shaw, who else is here? Jackson Browne, T-Bone Burnett, David Lindley, and others. So yeah, it's kind of a sad record because it's his last one, but last thing I ever bought. Let's see, number three. Show the first CD you ever bought. I guess that's the opposite of the last question. And that's easy, I remember it vividly. It was The Cure. Staring at the Sea. Now, the vinyl version, which I also have, is called Standing on a Beach. Those are two lines from the Cure track, Killing an Arab, which you would know if you're a Cure fan. Remember when CDs used to all look like this very boring silvery thing, and the insert is kind of disappointing. It's just credits. So the vinyl version has 4 fewer tracks. They boosted it up for the CD version. But I would say the mastering on this is not very good. This is early days. This is 86, and I think the mastering wasn't that great. So, yeah, it doesn't sound great. And another early one I bought was the Smiths Louder Than Bombs, and it sounds terrible too. Number 4, show a CDR or demo or DIY CD release. I have made a few mixed CDs as it goes, but I don't have any of those to show. I'm going to show something I got from a friend of mine at Christmas 2020. So this is 22 years ago. My friend would make CDs and give them to people of music he was currently listening to. So on here we have, he even printed that's printed, but the actual disc itself looks a bit different. What's on here? Morphine, Scott Walker, Eels, Radiohead, Toots and the Maytals, Kinks, Clash, I'm not going to read them all, Supergrass, Screaming Jay Hawkins. So that's kind of cool. A little memory from 22 years ago. Show the CD you last played in your stereo. Spiritualized songs in A&E. Should I pull out the insert on this one? Why not? There we go. Lyrics, and then there's some art, graphics, whatever on the side. I think most of my Spiritualized collection is on CD. I don't have that much on vinyl. I wish I did, because it's a good band. Show of various compilations, of various artists' compilation CD. So I'm going to show 3 because they kind of go together. A Canadian Alternative from 1992. A Canadian Alternative 92 from 1992, and A Canadian Alternative Volume 3 from 1994. Now, unless you live in Canada, it's unlikely you were going to know any of these artists, but let me give it a shot. I'll read a few, not all, I'll read a few names. Be interested to know if you know them. Bob Wiseman, who used to be in Blue Rodeo, The Look People, Sarah Craig, The Waltons, Moxie Fruvis, King Apparatus, Shadowy Men on a Shadowy Planet. If you know the show Kids in the Hall, that's the band who wrote and performed the theme song. Carol Pope, Pucka Orchestra, Railtech, Head, Change of Heart, Cottage Industry, Random Killing, Benjamin Russell, Neo A4, Chain of Fun, Manteca, Scott Merritt, Scott Matthews, more cottage Industry, Zen Bungalow, Thomas Trio and Red Albino, Gorky and the Juice Pigs, Scott B. Sympathy, Fishtails, Furnace Face, Snow Dogs, Hardship Post, Huevos Rancheros, Me Mum and Morgenthaler. Very Canadian name on that band if you know anything about Henry Morgenthaler. All right. Show a best of compilation CD from one particular artist. So how about the Pixies? Death to the Pixies. Although they didn't stay dead, they are back. So this has an overview of, I guess, their more well-known tracks. You know, Planet of Sound, Dig for Fire, Nimrod's Son, all the Bone Machine, Monkey Gone to Heaven. And the insert has some graphics and an essay. Don't know who wrote this. Gary Smith wrote it. There's a discography. So, yeah, that's a good collection. Okay, I'm back. Show a CD box set. There are a lot to choose from, but I ended up choosing King Crimson, the Projects, with the KC in Projects. So if you're a King Crimson fan, you're probably going to know what this is. If not, it represents I think Fripp called it the fractalization of King Crimson. They broke into side projects. Fripp was in every single one of them. So we have Project 1 live at the Jazz Cafe, which I think is in London. Project 2 Live Groove. Project 3 Mask. Project 4 West Coast Live. There's also there was Project X that came out after this. There was also a live Project 2 CD, double CD. I saw Project 2 in concert many years ago, and during the intermission, Adrian Blue got up on stage and did a solo acoustic mini concert where he played some King Crimson tracks, including 3 of A Perfect Pair. I can't remember the rest of the tracks, but those are 4 live albums were recorded between 1997 and 1999. And again, if King Crimson fans probably already know that. Show a single CD that contains the artist's whole discography, at least the official studio recordings. I couldn't find anything quite like that. I guess it's a compilation CD that has everything they released. So instead I chose a CD from a band that had only one record, because I struggled with that one. So I chose a band called Glissandro 70, which is from 2006. This is I guess you call it left field, jazzy dub, disco, post-rock, Afro-Cuban kind of sound, experimental maybe, on the Constellation record out of Montreal. So that's a record that's known for a lot of post-punk bands. Okay, I should have said Constellation Records, not Constellation Record, and post-rock, not post-punk. Maybe I shouldn't have recorded this while having a cold. This is really interesting. I like this one quite a lot. I guess I haven't listened to it in a while though. There's the disc itself, Glissandro 70. Yeah. So yeah, they only did one record though, which is kind of weird. And I don't really know much about them other than this. So anyway, because I chose Constellation, the next one I'm also going to choose something from Constellation Records. It's Show a CD in a Cardboard Sleeve. We're covering, again, I have lots. It's not a rare thing, but this is One Speed Bike, Droopy Butt Be Gone, also from Constellation Records out of Montreal. This is really, the person behind this is Aidan Gert, who is the drummer for Godspeed You Black Emperor, who are also on Constellation Records. The inside, and so in addition to the disc, there is a mail order from Constellation. There are thanks, which he calls tanks, And the little, I guess, is it a manifesto? It starts with, after the revolution, there will be free goat cheese. After the revolution, there will be no beer, but homebrew, and brewers will rightfully reclaim their place as community leaders, etc. So this is a pretty strange experimental post-rock, heavy percussion kind of thing. It's on vinyl too, I just don't happen to have a copy. So let me read you some song titles because I think they're pretty hilarious. The Day That Mauro Ran Over Elwy Yost. If you've lived in Ontario, if you grew up in Ontario, you might recognize the name Elwy Yost as being the host of Saturday Night at the Movies, which is a show I watched regularly, saw a lot of classic films there. Elwy Yost's son wrote and directed Speed, as I recall. Seattle, Washington, Prague, Chicago, Nixon, Reagan, Circle Fighting Machine, Yuppie Restaurant Goers Beware, because this song is for the dishwasher, Just Another Jive-Assed White Colonial Theft, Why Are All the Dogs Dying of Cancer? My Kitchen is Tiananmen Square, and finally, Any Movement That Forgets About Class is a Bowel Movement. So pretty eccentric recording. Some field recordings. There's the sound of a flushing toilet at some point in that CD, so that's kind of fun. All right, show us a CD single, and I had a number to choose from, but I chose The Love is Stronger Than Death. Here's the inside, and it has 3 live tracks as well, which are noted as being new versions. So new versions of Infected, Soul Mining, and Armageddon Days are here. Of course, Love is Stronger Than Death is from Dusk. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that band. Question number 12. Show a double or triple CD that is not a box set. I had a number to choose from here, but I ended up with Led Zeppelin. And this is How the West Was Won on 3 CDs. This is their 1972 tour. This came out in 2003. Later released on vinyl, but the price on that is kind of outrageous, so I don't have it. But this is fine because I'm a Led Zeppelin fan. Show a CD that looks like a vinyl record. I have some of these Roxy Music reissues from, I think they came out in 1999. So the case is definitely a replica of the vinyl record, but also the actual disc itself is made to look sort of like a record. You can kind of see there's supposed to be what looks like record grooves there. So I have a number of these ones. Show a CD soundtrack. So I picked something from 1999. Whew. And this is Dracula, Philip Glass, and the Kronos Quartet. So the Universal Studios Home Entertainment approached Philip Glass, commissioned him to write the score to this film, which came out in 1931, starring Bela Lugosi. I've seen that film, but they re-released it on video and with a new soundtrack. I haven't seen the new version, but I've heard this. I show you the back. There's the back. Dracula. Now this had mixed reviews though. Some people liked it and some people thought it was not good and possibly ill-advised. Like why bother? Because they thought the film should be left alone. But in any case, I'm assuming in the DVD you could turn off the soundtrack. I don't really know, but I enjoy this. I really like Philip Glass, and I'm a big fan of the Kronos Quartet. So for me, this is a good one. Can't believe that was 1999, though. Show a CD that comes with a book or a book that comes with a CD. And again, something from 1999 is this Brian Eno CD, Sonora Portraits. This was released only in Italy, and I don't know why it was released only in Italy. There's the back of it. I would read the subtitle, but it's in Italian, and I don't know Italian. So it has on the compact disc side a few selections from Brian Eno's lengthy catalog, going back to like the early stuff, and then up to Neroli, I guess. Yeah, so there's stuff from Music for Films, from The Drop, from the Spinner album. Yeah. Anyway, it's a pretty interesting collection. Okay, and the companion book is here. It has some essays, interviews, chronology, and some online resources you can check out. I wonder how many of these are still live. At least there doesn't seem to be any MySpace stuff here, but anyway, so that's an interesting book. All right, show a CD with a live recording. Again, dozens that I could have chosen, but I ended up with Dead Kennedys live at the Deaf Club with all your favorites like Kill the Poor, back in Rhodesia, California Uber Alice, back in the USSR, Viva Las Vegas. There's an insert here as well, if I can get it out. There it is. Oh. Let's see. Fun times. And you can report a trader that you know. There's a place to fill out the form if you know a trader. And then, is that the address, the real address of Homeland Security? I don't know. I'd be curious to know. Show a CD with weird or non-conventional packaging. I had a few that I considered, but I ended up choosing this Aidan Baker CD called Dance of Lonely Molecules. I've seen him in concert. He's a very ambient kind of guy. He's also a poet. Released a ton of records. And what's weird about this is it doesn't really have packaging. This just is a fold over and the CD just sits here. So on my shelf I have to kind of put it like this because I guess they're reducing the use of plastic. This is limited edition. This is number 85 out of 200. It has 3 tracks, but they're quite lengthy. The 2 tracks are 23 or 22 minutes and one is 10 minutes. So there's 50 minutes or so on 3 tracks. Interesting, but no packaging really when you think about it. Show your most expensive CD. All right, so this is a live limited edition Billy Bragg. I guess it's a mini album because it's only 6 tracks. I mail ordered this from, or ordered it online somehow from his store in England at the time. You couldn't even pay online. I had to get a international money transfer or something like that and send it in the mail. This is from 1991. Oops. And so, yeah, in terms of prices, the median price is around $75 up to around $95. There are currently 2 for sale on Amazon for $133, starting at $133. Now, I chose a single CD. I didn't choose a box set because they would be probably more. So just for a most expensive single CD, and that would be it. Show a CD from a local band or artist. So I chose Sloan. This is Never Hear the End of It. Of course, they started in Halifax, if I'm remembering that correctly, and I've been in Toronto for quite a while. I've always said I live around the corner from a member of Sloan, but until recently I didn't actually know which one it was because I'd never seen him. What neighbors tell me. So I do know who it is now. Funny, 2 houses ago, I lived just down the street from someone in Broken Social Scene. So this has 30 tracks on it, and this is their 2006. I have a number of Sloan releases on CD and vinyl, but this is from 2006. Anyway, Sloan. Last one, to show a mini CD or mini disc. So I'm going to choose something that doesn't look like it's a mini CD. That's Leonard Cohen, I'm Your Man, 3-inch single with free adapter. There are 3 tracks on here. I'm Your Man, Chelsea Hotel, and Who by Fire. This actually is already in the adapter. So that's the 3-inch adapter. So if your CD player doesn't have the inner groove for the smaller discs, you can play it on this. Right. So that was fun because I don't normally talk about CDs except for one video in the past. But this is just to say, go to Costas' channel, which I'll put the link in the bottom below. Come on, wrap it up. This cold is affecting my brain. So yes, go to Costas' channel. It's a reasonably new channel, I think. And maybe you could do this too. I'm rambling now, so thanks for watching.